my name is Inku, and thank you guys for all the nice comments from the last video. I understand that YouTubers changing the type of content they make can be frustrating, so I'm happy you guys are happy. Now, let's get started. I'm sure everyone here knows what a vampire is. From crappy little skirt Halloween costumes to big motion pictures and franchises, I'm sure anyone could talk about this monster extensively. I think the reason why this type of monster in specific is so popular is that what people classify as a vampire can differ extensively, leading to different types of vampires. I guess I don't know how to explain it. One thing that is a staple for almost any type of vampire though is their connection with bats. I'm not fact checking that. Even if it isn't specified if they can turn into a bat, it always seems alluded to. However, what type of bat they are connected to is never specified. Of course, you'd be quick to think of a vampire bat, but just because they are named after vampires doesn't necessarily mean that vampires can turn into vampire bats. Like I said, the definition of a vampire is loose. Wait, what came first? The vampire or the vampire bat? Anyway, so I thought, what if I designed vampires based off of real species of bats? It's an interesting concept, and I haven't seen anyone else do it, at least in my knowledge. So let's start. Now, if you look at the start of the speed paint footage, you can see a completely different bat at the start. This is the image that inspired this video. And I was gonna do this breed of bat, but when I tried to find what breed it was called, why is it all... Oh my god. It's a doll! So I switched to this bat instead, since this is the first thing that pops up when you search white bat on Google. Now, time for some facts about Honduran white bats. Am I saying that correctly?
Honduran.
Editing Inku will check that. They're frugivorous. I'm gonna do that, and if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. They're frugivorous, meaning they mostly eat small fruits and figs, but also pollen and small insects. At first, when I learned this, I thought frugivorous meant solely just fruit, but unfortunately, that's not the case. But it's fine, whatever. 2, they're endangered. And in fact, I think maybe all the breeds of bats I'm drawing are at risk or already endangered. 3, their color. Now, I think being white isn't really the best color for camouflaging, but it does make a bit more sense when you learn that they actually camouflage in the sunlight that filters through leaves. Still, that still leaves the question what they do at night. Okay. They make tents out of leaves. This is probably the most unique thing about Honduran bats, but how they do it is that they cut the side veins of leaves, making them fold down. You know, like, have you ever folded a leaf in half? Like, didn't you do that? Like, I used to pick up a leaf and I would be like... Okay, anyways, on to what I did for the design. Obviously, the first thing you noticed about this bat is their face. Well, this is just my guess, but I think the reason why it's like that is to improve echolocation abilities. So don't make fun of their face. They're cute. Either way, I did add a nod to their facial structure in their hair, as well as this belt thingy around her waist. Remember how I said exactly 57 seconds ago that Honduran bats make tents out of leaves? I tried making her skirt have a similar structure. Originally, it didn't have an opening in the front, and the outfit looked kinda... Anyways, if you haven't noticed, which you probably haven't since this is the first drawing, I'm trying to make the vampires have similar body shapes to the bat breed. The thing that's difficult about this, though, is that at least 2 of the bat breeds have very a circular, triangular shape. I don't know how to explain. And I don't know how to convert that into a human body type. That's why I gave her this big collar floof. And before you ask, which you totally were about to. Where is this bat found? And this is earth-shattering news. They're found in Honduras? What? And also Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Western Panama. But what? I would have never guessed that the Honduran bat from Honduras. So yeah, it doesn't make sense that she looks like she's ready to go out and play in snow if she's from Central America. But it also doesn't make sense to camouflage in sunlight if night exists. Anyways, here's her design. What should her name be? The first thing I thought was Honda, but obviously Honda. So please give name suggestions in the comments. I'll post my favorite on my community tab posts. 1. They don't have echolocation. Yeah. 2. Black flying foxes are among some of the biggest bats in the world, with a wingspan that reaches up to 1.5 meters. 5 feet. Now, just think about that for a second. Think. I know there must be some shorties watching that are that height, if not shorter. And for a literal bat to be like, haha, shorty. Come on! 3. Wait, what does that say? Oh my god. They look like foxes? 4. They're also frugivorous, but eat flowers too. 5. Heat stress. Since they're black, they die when it gets really hot. Which, is always no, I guess? Also, they live 15 to 20 years and sometimes longer in captivity. Now onto what I did for the design. Let me tell you. Wait. No. Just guess. How long it took for me to get the sketch. Just the sketch. 2 hours! Okay, sorry if the microphone quality is bad. Usually I want my videos to just be a voiceover, but I'm just letting you know, obviously, if you can't clearly see, this took 2 hours! 2 hours! Just for the sketch. Oh my god. This was driving me crazy. Was it 3 or 4 sketches before this? Did I finish Pinky by this time? Did I? I don't know, editing me check, but oh my god. I'm so tired. I think I'm gonna keep drawing though, because I don't know, I'm a little crazy like that. I think what made this so difficult for me to come up with a design is that this fox visually is not that special. Yes, it looks like a fox, but that's kinda it. Originally I wanted her to pose like the bat while it's sleeping, but why I ended up not doing that is that her arms cover up most of her torso, which ends up making it hard to design the top of her outfit in a way that would look visually interesting in that pose. So what I ended up trying to do next is I wanted to give her clothes that had 2 pieces of fabric overlapping each other so it would imitate the shape that the bat wings make. Anyways, each bat design I want to add an accessory to the back of the character just because wing bat cape accessory? Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to add is that they have no echolocation, and because of this on her ears, I gave her these like Bampi ear cuffs with hearing aids. I thought it makes sense. Since I barely had any clue what to do with her design, I thought, why don't I add the type of flowers they eat so it doesn't look like and that's what I did. To be honest, I think this is my least favorite design of the video. I don't know. Maybe it's because I spent way too long trying to figure out the design just for it to look so basic, or... Yeah, that's the only example I can think of. Now onto my second favorite design of this video. I love it so much. First of all, you know those little Pinterest reaction photos? Yeah, stop using those. You don't need them when you have photos of this bat. Look at their facial expressions. Anyways, I didn't really lean super heavily into the facts about the bats for this design, so I'll only tell you the important one, which is that they can usually live in a hollow tree or caves and that they migrate. So I gave her a little running pose. Also, can you guess where they are from? Wait, hold on. I don't know that, so let me just find it. Indiana? Nah, I'm just joking. They do live in Indiana, but also here. Coming back from the last design, I really didn't want to go through spending 2 hours working on a stupid little anime girl design. So I thought, well, what other information could I use about this bat to help with its design? I could just use the year they were discovered to inspire the type of clothing they wear. And so I did. And so now this girlie is an Indiana bat-inspired flapper girl. I never thought I'd say that. Because the bat was discovered in 1928 and the flapper girl style was popular in the 20s. You can see in a lot of this clothing style that they would wear little hats or like feathers on their head, so I gave this girly I need to give this design a temporary name. Don't worry, we're still doing the community post thing. It's just like I don't want to keep on saying girly. I'll just call her Indiana for now. Very creative, I know. So I gave Indiana this little hat crown thingy, and instead of feathers I made it leaves. And instead of a feather I made it leaves. I didn't know what to add to her dress because it was looking kind of plain. So I looked up cave insects because the bat eats insects and they also live in caves. And I found this picture of what I'm assuming is a centipede's bone structure. I'll show it in 3, 2, 1. Okay, you're safe now. And even though these bats probably don't eat centipedes, I added it onto her dress, and I think it looks cool. Now for what I did for the little wing bat cape accessory. I gave her these like strings attached to her gloves because I didn't want to keep adding like a slightly transparent shawl to the design. Be redundant. And instead of little jewels, I didn't really make this clear on the drawing, but those little brown thingies attached to the strings that look like little turds were supposed to look like little beetles or bugs. It isn't quite clear though. Whoops. I mean, you can pick if it's a turd or not. At this point, I hadn't really made a spooky vampire design. I mean, like, I kind of just made designs and slapped vampire teeth on them. But this breed of bat, I feel like it gave me the perfect opportunity to make something much more spooky. Of course, like all the other bats I've done for the video, it's cute, but it still does look quite spooky. Following for what I did with the previous design where I'd used the year they were discovered to influence the design, I discovered that this bat was discovered in 1880, which is actually perfect. The vampire aesthetic, quote unquote, I feel really fits in perfectly to this time period. So again, another great opportunity to make this design more spooky. Okay, I know I keep talking about things that make this bat spooky, but the last thing is that this is the first bat where it's technically a cannibal. Because it's known to eat small mammals, birds, and other bats. I would not want to be around this bat if it was hungry. Or just in general, actually. Look at the teeth. In my previous designs, I've been including what type of food they eat. And I was not certain how I was going to include dead things. What I ended up going for, though, was this dead bat, stuffed animal bat. It's not dead. Chill out. It was never alive. Okay. Why did I write okay so many times? As well as in this time period, a lot of the reference photos I was finding, the woman had these like fancy ooh la la hats where they, near the rim, there might be like a flower or feathers. So instead of that, or well, I did add a feather, but also a bone. So now it's time for some details I added, because yes. The bat wings are semi-translucent. The back of her jacket, I made it kind of like fade out, as well as this little hair part, like these like 3 ponytails. I don't know what to call it, but there's like this, like, it's the wing texture. Yeah. So, the ghost bats have really good echolocation. Unsurprising because of their facial structure, but I wanted to add that into the design somehow. But obviously, sound waves are like hearing. I wouldn't give her just like a bunch of ears. So instead of that, you know, like how people represent sound waves with the little, I did that design in the little veil that's hanging from the brim of her hat. Another thing is the bat's ears, like compared to the other ones that I did in this video, their ears point up a lot. So I made it look like she, what did I write? So I made it look like she burns through 8 jars of hair gel per day. And finally, ghost bats live in caves. They're also Australian, but they live in caves. And when I was designing the girly for the black flying fox, I inverted the pupils and the scapula. Remember how there were so many sketches? One of those sketches, there was inverted pupils. And so I basically did that with this one. Overall, I really like the design. I think I did really well, and this is like the best drawing. This is my favorite drawing from the video. I feel like I didn't really, their nose, I feel like I didn't give that. Like, I feel like I should have added something to the hat, or like, so she'd have like a crown around her head, and there'd be like a tooth or something pointing up, so it would be like the nose. But unfortunately, I didn't do that. And the shoes, they're so ugly. The shoes are so ugly. I really hope you think she looks spooky too. She definitely seems like she has committed multiple crimes. Now, that's all the characters I'll be designing for today. Sorry if I'm spending too little time on each character. I'm trying to figure out how to like write. I'm trying to learn how to do scripts well enough. Are these characters connected in any way? No. I mean, I think my favorite was the ghost bat one. She's my favorite. She looks so spooky, and I love it. It's just, I love it. Let me know any suggestions for videos in the comments. Make sure to give name suggestions. And yeah, goodbye.